Again, I want to remind you that this problem came off a state-issued EOC practice. So this is important, and you will see problems like this on the real EOC. The way that I normally do this is I clean up the parentheses and then I give out the power. But it turns out that it's cleaner if you do it the other direction, where you give everybody the power and then clean it up on top and bottom. So I'm going to show you that way. Again, everybody's going to get the -1/3 power, including the 8 on the bottom. And I'll show you that. We'll discuss it a little bit. So what I need to do is I need to give 6/5 the power of -1/3. So to do this, I need to multiply 6/5 times -1/3. Again, you can use your calculator, or if you want to do the simplification, you can. But 6/5 times -1/3 equals x to the -2/5. And again, that's going to be on top. So I sort of got some scratch work in here. Now 8 is also going to go to the -1/3 power. And if you make sure to do that, that is not -8/3. That equals 8. Use your calculator, caret button, -1/3, and you'll get 1/2 out of that. Now, if you do it this way, that 1/2 has to go on the bottom because that's where we got it from. There's another way you could have done it, where you could have said this is 1/8, and you could have raised the whole fraction to the -1/3 power, in which case you would have gotten 2. Now, why would you get 2 from this and 1/2 from this and it be the same thing? The reason why it would be the same thing is because this says 1 divided by 1/2. And if you do that in your calculator, that equals 2. Okay? So, in the end, well, not in the end, right now, I got 1/2 on bottom, but I know that 1/2 on bottom really equals 2. So I'm going to go ahead and scratch that out and put my 2 on top. On the bottom, I've got x to the 12/7 raised to the -1/3. And 12/7 times -1/3, again multiplying, is x to the -4/7. And that's what's going to go on bottom. And then I've got y to the 9/4 raised to the -1/3. Again, multiply my exponents. 9/4 times -1/3 is -3/4. And again, that's going to be y on the bottom as -3/4. I'm not going to bother with elevators just yet. Let's look at it. Here I've got to do division. And when you divide, you subtract exponents. So again, 2 staying on top. I'm going to have -2/5 minus -4/7. Again, use your calculator on that one. And -2/5 minus -4/7 is 6/35. So that's positive, and it's on top. Now, on bottom, I have a -3/4. So this guy needs to ride the elevator to the top, and he's going to become y to the 3/4. Now that I no longer have a bottom, that's my answer. That's option 1. The second option for number 10 would be a little messier as far as fractions are concerned, but again, you're relying on your calculator to do the math. So there shouldn't be a mistake fraction-wise. The first thing I do is I go ahead and do subtraction. So 6/5 minus 12/7 gives me negative 18/35 for my x on top, because I did this minus this. Now he would ride the elevator down, but I'm just going to leave him up top for now. The 8 is still on bottom, and the y to the 9/4 is still on bottom. And all of it's raised to the negative 1/3. Now if I give out my negative 1/3, then this becomes x to the negative 18/35 raised to the negative 1/3 power. And I've just got to multiply these two fractions. And negative 18/35 times negative 1/3 gives me a positive 6/35. And that's going to go on top. Now I still have that dilemma of this 8 that I'm raising to the negative 1/3 power. And that's still going to give me a half on the bottom though. And then this y to the 9/4 raised to the negative 1/3. Again, multiplying your calculator gives you y to the negative 3/4. The only thing I need to clean up is this needs to ride the elevator up. And then 1 divided by 1/2, or 1/2 on bottom, equals 2 on top.